constructed of 2.3 million blocks of limestone with an average weight of 2.5 tons. The Great Pyramid of Egypt, the Pyramid of Giza, remains a mystery even today. This Pyramid of Egypt is located halfway between North Pole and Equator. If we multiply the base perimeter of this pyramid by number 43,200, we get Earth's equatorial circumference. This magic number, 43,200, is the exact number of syllables in Rigveda. The ancient Indian religious text. The more we are entering into new tech-based era, the more we are exploring the deep history of human civilization. तिळगुळ घ्या, गोड गोड बोला. This is how we Marathi people greet at the time of Makar Sankranti. Makar Sankranti is one of the important festival that begins the festival-filled moods of India. In the month of January, on 14th of January, and in leap year that happens to be on 15th of January. Sesame is the fourth largest oil seed cultivated all over the world. Sesamum indicum is the binomial name that indicates the indic roots of sesame seeds. In Ayurveda, it is believed to be a seed that stabilizes the three major doshas. Those are Kapha, Vata and Pitta, and it puts them into a proper harmony. On this day of Makar Sankranti, people in India, they greet each other with a combination of sesame seeds and jaggery powder or jaggery pieces. Jaggery symbolizes the joy, and sesame symbolizes peace and stability. So, a stability, a peace that has a beautiful lining of joy, that is something given to each other during the Sankranti festival, Makar Sankranti. Out of the three main attributes of God in India, those are the Sat, Chit and Anand. Sat means pervades everywhere. Chit means the knowledge filled. And the third one is Anand, joy. Jaggery symbolizes that joy. And this is something, a phase of transition that takes place from the Sagittarius to Capricorn, from Dhanu Rashi to Makar Rashi, and that is why it is called Sankraman or Sankrant, that means a transit. There are 12 zodiacs, out of which the 9th one is Dhanu Rashi and the 10th one is the Makar Rashi. The transition of Sun takes place from Dhanu Rashi to Makara Rashi, and that is called Makar Sankraman or Sankranti. Makar is a Sanskrit word for crocodile. Crocodile has an importance in Indian religious belief system or various different types of religious beliefs in India. It is believed to be the carrier or the vehicle of Ma Ganga, the greatest river of India. It is also a carrier of Varuna, the Vaidik god. It also comes with an important reference in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna tells Arjuna that among the all aquatic creatures, I am Makar, means I am the crocodile. See, this is not only restricted to India, but when we come to one of the ancient civilizations, and that is the Egyptian one, there is a god called Sobek or Sabek, and this god has a crocodile face and the entire body is like a human. Well, if we look at the giant pyramids of Egypt, in those pyramids there are mummified crocodiles. Crocodiles are believed to be the protectors of people who live along the shorelines in the Egyptology or the Egyptian notion of history. This animal belongs to reptiles, and these reptiles, they are creeping animals, those animals which creep. So these creeping animals having short limbs or sometimes lacking limbs as a secondary part of evolution, as we see in the snakes. These animals, they have a very rich diversity in the various different forms like tortoises, turtles, then snakes, gharials, muggers, these crocodiles. All these various different forms, they make this group of reptiles, the creeping animals. Crocodiles belong to reptilia. This animal has two very powerful jaws. The bite strength of various different animals has been calculated scientifically, and crocodile is one of them. Reaching to the bite strength of a shark, even crocodiles sometimes have a force of almost 15 to 16,000 newtons when they hold some prey by its bite. Crocodiles are also important in one more sense, that is related with the sex determination. In the Egyptian belief system or in the history, mythology of Egypt, this crocodile is believed to be a god of fertility. But let us come to the modern science from the notion of these old belief systems. And here, crocodiles have a very different types of sex determination system other than chromosomal sex determination method. In simple words, let me explain this. In humans, there are 46 chromosomes, and in a more correct sense, there are 23 pairs of chromosomes. Out of these 23 pairs of chromosomes, 22 pairs, they are autosomes, and there is one single pair of sex chromosome, and those are XY in male and XX in female. So when the sperms are produced during the meiosis, there is a segregation into 50% of sperms having X chromosomes, while 50% of sperms having Y chromosome. While the female gamete has just a single X chromosome. Now, when a Y containing sperm fertilizes an ovum, then there will be a male child born. When there is fertilization of X containing sperm with the ovum, then female child is born. But in crocodiles, there is something called temperature dependent sex determination. But in crocodiles, the sex determination method is temperature dependent sex determination method. Crocodiles are oviparous. They lay eggs, as most of the reptiles are oviparous, with few exceptions. Now, when they lay eggs, those are having a leathery shell, and they cover that into a nest. The incubation temperature of those eggs by those nests, covered by those nests, that is going to determine the sex of the hatchling that is born in future. If the incubation temperature of the nest is 31.6 degrees Celsius or above, male crocodile will be born. And if the temperature of that nest is below 31.6 degrees Celsius, then female crocodile will be born. This is one of the points which we need to understand when we most of the times force upon DNA to be the shaping part or the crucial part of any living organism. That is perhaps the reason of various different traits. Even psychologists even try to relate that. A great book that came almost 2 decades ago by Dr. Bruce Lipton, The Biology of Belief, that came with an insight that DNA alone is not important. There is something other that regulates the activity of DNA, and that we call today as science of epigenetics. Coming back to the crocodiles again, crocodiles. With respect to, in context to the evolutionary process, reptiles have 3.5 chambered or incompletely partitioned ventricles in their heart, in their circulatory system. See, fishes have 2-chambered heart. Amphibians have 3-chambered heart. In amphibians, the atrium is partitioned into left and right atrium. In fishes, there is a single atrium and a single ventricle, something called venous heart or 2-chambered heart. But when we come to reptiles, reptiles have incompletely divided ventricle, and that is why it is 3.5 chambered heart, where atria are divided into 2, left and right atrium, while the ventricle is partially divided into 2 compartments, and that is why it is called incompletely 4-chambered heart. But in crocodiles, there is completely 4-chambered heart found, and that is why they are supposed to be somewhat evolved in an evolved phase than rest of the reptiles. Now let's come back to one of the important notions, and that is symbiosis. Herodotus, a Greek historian, he noted one interesting thing when he observed the things happening in the Nile Delta of Egypt that time. Greece and Egypt, they share a lot of geography and lot of even cultural past, deep past also. So Herodotus observed that in the marshlands of Egypt, where Nile River meets to the ocean in the form of two branches, there are lot of mud flats, and there is found Crocodilus niloticus that is found on the banks of Nile, and that is why that is niloticus, Crocodilus niloticus. So this crocodile, Herodotus observed an interesting thing. He saw that birds like plovers, which are found along the shore, they enter the jaws, open jaws of crocodiles. And crocodiles shut their mouth for a while, for say a minute, and they reopen, and that bird comes alive outside. These birds were named as crocodile birds that time. An apex predator like crocodile, which is having a bite strength of almost 15,000 newtons, 16,000 newtons almost, just like a powerful shark. But these tiny birds, these shore birds, they enter the jaws of this crocodile. Crocodile shuts them. They come alive when the jaws are open. So what was the important part of it? In those marshlands, there are found leeches also. Leeches, Hirudo medicinalis. They have medicinal importance. Leeches were used to suck the impure blood from a deceased person's body. And that method in Ayurveda, Bharatiya Ayurveda, is called Rakta Moksha, or in English that is called bloodletting, which was a healing method and was a part of Ayurvedic system of healing. So the binomial name Hirudo medicinalis. In Hindi that is called jonk, or in Marathi that is called zadu. So what happens when crocodile enters into the water? The leeches stick to their oral cavity from inside and they start sucking the blood. These leeches are actually smaller, and even the crocodile with its sharp teeth cannot defend that. Now, here comes a help from these crocodile birds, these plovers. These plovers enter the jaws of these furious crocodiles. They pick up those leeches and they protect that crocodile from pain. And that is the reason these birds actually come alive from the jaws of that crocodile. An interesting example of symbiosis. Thank you for listening so kindly, friends. This is Lakshmi Raman Oza, and you were watching SBTL webcasts.